Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Heavyweight kingpin Oleksandr Usyk has revealed he's willing to fight Anthony Joshua for a third time, so we'll come to his comments and then discuss it, because do we need to see that fight for a third time? But also, what are the other options that would exist? So we'll go through that. So first, Oleksandr Usyk told the Mail Sport, "I don't particularly want any rematches, but when we beat Tyson Fury for the second time and when Anthony Joshua beats Daniel Dubois, of course they will want to do a third fight. From my point of view, I have no right to deny Anthony a third fight because he gave me two incredible fights. Anthony helped me become even more famous in the world. Anthony did it, and if it happens with God's help, then I am ready for a third fight with Anthony." So that's Oleksandr Usyk, who became undisputed champion of the heavyweight division this year, and then he relinquished his IBF title, which will be on the line for the Anthony Joshua vs Daniel Dubois fight. So Usyk himself is having a rematch with Tyson Fury at the end of the year, and by no means that is not a lock for him to win. You know, Tyson Fury could come in and upset him. That's possible. Tyson Fury is a very, very good heavyweight, as we know. And Joshua, his fight with Dubois, also not a lock. But obviously, he's got plans about what he wants to do should they both win. I think one of the other things that's unsaid here, but needs to be considered in the context of his comments, is Joshua and Dubois are fighting for that IBF belt. So if Usyk ends up fighting Joshua if he beats Dubois, you know, you have a situation where it would be another undisputed fight. And I know some people will say, look, we've already seen Joshua and Usyk fight twice. You had Usyk outbox him pretty conclusively in the first fight. Yeah, a little bit closer in the second fight, but Joshua fought just a better version of the first fight and still came up short. They were good fights, but personally, I'm not necessarily that interested to see a rematch, but when you say, okay, it's for all the marbles, I think that does elevate it, and I wouldn't mind it. And I think one of the other things you need to consider is if Usyk beats Fury and Joshua beats Dubois, Usyk has already fought Anthony Joshua twice and beaten him twice. So he will have a huge degree of confidence of beating him a third time. He knows what Joshua is about. He's had 24 rounds with him. He will expect that he can go in there and basically get the same result. That if he fights the way that he can fight, he will get the win. Joshua, obviously under Ben Davison, has been looking better and better. He's polished some things up. He's looking a little bit better technically, but I would expect it would be probably a similar sort of game plan. He will try to outbox the box, and we've seen that not work twice. And as we know, a Joshua and Usyk fight, no matter what's going to generate a lot of money, if it has all the belts on the line, even more than it would if it was just some of them. Usyk at the moment has 3 of the belts. He's going to defend those against Tyson Fury in December. So there's no lock with any of this, but there's certainly some possibility that it could happen, and it could happen for all the marbles should the results go the way that Oleksandr Usyk wants. But then the other question is, do we need to see it? Do we really want to see a third fight between the pair when we had 2 wins for Usyk already? I guess that's just the heavyweight division and some of the machinations with it. You have someone like Joshua, who's a cash cow, one of the best fighters. He's always never that far away from a title shot. 1 or 2 wins puts you back in position. And he would say, you know, the last year or two developing since he lost to Usyk, that he's a better fighter and would have a better shot. And I guess one of the other things that you have to also consider, Oleksandr Usyk's not a spring chicken. He's 37 now. In January, he'll be 38. When will this fight be if it was to occur? Probably April or something, May, something there or thereabouts. Oleksandr Usyk has a young man's fighting style. Eventually, it'll catch up with him to some extent. He'll slow down. He'll become more hittable, more beatable. You know, Father Time is undefeated. He stops for no man and very few women. And I think in the third fight, Usyk's 38 years old. He might think that, actually, have I got him at the right time? But, you know, this is obviously just some news. It opens the possibilities. Nothing is locked in. But we could very obviously also have the reverse result where Fury wins, Dubois wins, and then they have an undisputed fight. And actually, a fresh fight, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'm sure Frank Warren would love to see that. So this is just something that Usyk is open to. I mean, he says that he made him more famous, and he did. Oleksandr Usyk was kind of one of these guys, road warrior. You know, his profile was at a certain level. Joshua, with the 2 fights, did help elevate him to a different level. But a third time, do we need to see it? If it's undisputed, well, I don't mind. And we, obviously haven't had many of those in the past 25 years, and obviously one just in this generation, which was Fury and Usyk. But with the belt being dropped by Usyk, and if he results goes the right way, that obviously becoming an undisputed champion 2 times over, if he was able to do that, that's a huge lure in terms of a legacy from that point of view. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.